4 more students. Okay, there are other students as well. Yeah, so let us continue and we will start when they will join, right? But the main thing is that you guys have your quotas, right? So you have your NRI and what was the other thing? DASA. So you guys have DASA quota and there is 50% quota of that, right? Total in every IIT and NIT institutes, there is a 15% quota of DASA students. So you guys are competing with 50% of that seat, right? You don't have to compete with the general students. You guys have to compete with the DASA students, right? And there are 30 questions in the exam. And the important thing is that the most important thing in the exam is what? People generally don't care about that. So what is the most important thing? Yeah, anyone can tell me. What is the most important thing in the exam? Yes. So the most important thing is that you don't have to do all the questions, right? You don't have to do 30 questions. You only have to do 8 questions in physics. Only 8, minimum 8 questions, right? And whatever the, okay, Shahid, yeah. So whatever the question that you are 100% confidence on, right? So you have to only try those questions and never, ever you guys have to try or guess any question. Don't ever try to guess any question, right? Because you guys have negative markings and this negative marking plays a very crucial role, right? So always keep in mind that you guys have quota, 15% quota, and you guys have to do only 8 questions, minimum 8 questions, and you can do 10 questions to get a good IITs. But if you want to go into NITs and triple IITs, then you guys have to only do 8 questions, 8 to 10 questions from physics, right? Only 8 to 10 questions. So keep that goal, keep that aim in your mind. Don't try to do 30 questions or even 20 questions. If you are able to confidently do 10 questions, that is more than enough, right? That is more than enough to get you into IITs, NITs, and triple IITs, right? So don't ever do such question in which you don't have a confidence in. And the minimum goal that you have to set, particularly in physics and maybe other subjects as well. So you guys have total 30 question in physics and then 30 and then other 30 question in other subjects. But in physics, only try to do 8 to 10 questions. So that will, so that will be more than enough to get you in some IITs or triple IITs. So keep that goal in mind. And so we can also see that what were the previous questions, right? So this is how they asked this question in the previous exam, right? And you can see that 60 marks question, 15 question in physics, that were easy level, right? So those level were NCRT and all. So you guys have those NCRT questions. So the level of those questions were NCRT, right? So, and there are 15 questions in the easy level and then 7 questions in the medium level. So if you are able to only do this 15 questions, but the aim is the minimum is to do 8 questions, right? And if you are able to do 10 to 12 questions, so that is more than enough in physics, right? And so the proportion of questions, so 10 questions were from the 11th standard and 12 questions from the 12th standard, right? And then there were mixed questions from 11th and 12th both, right? So generally 50% is from 11th, 50% is from 12th. right? And I will start from 11th standard, right? And the most important chapter in all of 11th and 12th standard is vectors, right? That is not a particularly a chapter, but yeah, the background. So this vector is in every chapter, right? So we have to have a clear background of this vector portion. So firstly, I will be doing this vector portion, and then I will jump into the chapter. So I will start with motion in 1D, motion in 2D, and then firstly, I will do the 11th portion because you guys have recently done your 12th standard, right? So you guys are familiar with your 12th portion. So that is just a recent thing. But 11th, it has been 1.5 years, right? So I'll start with 11th portion and then I will go to the 12th portion. So aim, always set this aim that you only need to do 8 to 10 questions, right? And that will surely get you into the, because you guys have DASA quota, and 15% seats in every IITs and triple IITs and NITs that are for the DASA or NRI students. So you guys are competing with only for that 15% seat, right? So only 8 questions. In a general scenario, they have to secure 170 or 180 mark, but you guys need only 150 or something marks, right? So question wise, 8 to 10 questions from physics, and yeah, chemistry and mathematics teacher will tell you about their portion, right? I don't know about them, but particularly in physics, you guys need only to do 8 to 10 questions. And you can see that in the previous exam, the easy level was, there were 15 questions from the easy level, right? So don't ever overextend your limit, and just aim for 8 to 10 questions, right? Okay, so yeah, these were the previous year students, and they got into triple ITs and all those things, right? So and yeah, so let me talk about the schedule then, right? What would be the schedule? Okay, so the schedule would be let me. Okay, so what would be the schedule? So you guys have got your schedule, right? And this is me, Shanwaz Adil, right? So I'll be taking your classes from 4 p.m. KSA to which is 6:30 p.m. IST. So firstly, I'll be covering these two chapters in 2 days, and then I will be talking about. So firstly, I will be talking about in up to week 2, right? I will be talking about the first book of your 11th standard and then the 12th standard. So I'll start the 12th standard. Right, and Tarif already has studied right some portions. So and Shahid also, right? You were also there in the JEE batch. Madiha, oh, so you are also. So you were there, Madiha, right? In some of the classes you were there, but then you were not there, right?
Yes, I was there in the starting, then I left.
Yeah. So because those would be so exhausting for you guys, right? Parallelly, you guys were studying your 12th standard and then JEE batch. So maybe that was exhausting, right?
Yes, sir.
Subbu Nadeem, oh, so this is the maths teacher, right? Your maths teacher. So okay, so I guess everybody is here, right? So let us start, right? And keep this aim, right? So set your goal that you don't have to do all the questions, right? And only 8 to 10 questions. And if you are familiar with the rest of the question as well, that you know very confidently other question as well. So up to 15 questions, that is the maximum, right? So only focus on those questions. And never ever guess any question which you are not confident in. Never ever do that. So negative marking is very crucial, right? So, okay, so let us start with, and I'll be revising some portion which you guys are already familiar with. So maybe that would be boring sometimes or repeating, but bear with me sometimes and then we'll get back to the question, right? So, okay. So firstly, I will start with vectors, right? And yeah, the first question, what are vectors? What are vectors? So the old definition that we have, right from the 10th or 11th standard. So vector which has direction and magnitude, right? Any physical parameter which has direction and magnitude, that is a vector, right? Okay. So you have a vector and it has magnitude, right? It is generally represented as this one, right? Modulus. And then you can also represent as this one, where you don't have these arrows. So this represents magnitude and then we have direction, right? And direction is represented by a hat. So whenever you have this hat, oh, Chavez. Okay, Chavez is also joining, right? So the old people. This is like a get together, right? Okay, so it has also a direction, right? And we generally represent a vector by its magnitude and its direction, right? So this is also called, what does it called? If you guys remember, what is this called? Yeah, what is this thing called? This has a
A
specific,
cap.
yeah, that is cap, a hat, cap, whatever you guys tell, but this has a specific name.
Unit vector.
Vector.
Good, yes, absolutely right. So this is called the unit
Assalamu
vector.
alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Welcome back, Shaviz. Welcome back.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, so okay, this is just like a get together, right? Every old people are coming back and we are here discussing physics, right? From 11th.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so okay, I discussed something, but the crux of that thing that I discussed earlier, Chavez, when you were not there, that aim is that in physics, I can, because I only can tell about physics subject, you guys have to solve or do 8 to 10 questions, right? Minimum. So this is one such important point. If you can do 8 to 10 question minimum, then surely, inshallah, you guys will get some NITs and triple ITs. So please keep this goal only, right? Minimum.
Yes, sir.
And the second important thing that I was discussing is that no guessing, right? Only try
Yes.
those questions in which you have 100% confidence. Right. Even if you have 98% confidence, then don't do that question. Right. You guys can have, because you guys have 30 questions.
Negative marking.
Yeah, negative, because you guys have negative marking and those are, so those are very crucial, right? So, okay, so you have total 30 questions, right? In which 20 questions are objective and 10 questions are integer type, right? So among these, you have to only do 8 questions, 8 to 10, right? If you are able to do 8 questions from physics and then other 8 questions from chemistry and then other 8 questions from mathematics, so you are set. Then you would be finding yourself in some NITs or IITs, right? Inshallah.
Yes,
But
Michelle.
yeah, and but you guys have to only do this 8 to 10 questions, right? And 50% comes from 11th, and the rest 50% comes from 12th. Right, but you guys can do all the 8 questions from 12th as well, or all the 8 questions from 11th. Whatever you are, whatever you have some confidence in, right? So this was the monologue that I was giving just a moment ago, Sharesh. Right. And now we have just started this chapter. So yeah, as Maria or Madia, who said, this is called the unit vector, right? And to make our life easy, right? To make our life easy, there are special unit vectors, right? Because we are talking about Cartesian form. So there are special Cartesian vectors, right? Unit vectors. And those are what? So unit vectors, and they are special, right? And they are Cartesian unit vectors. So they are I, J, and K, right? And the important property of these unit vectors, right? So their magnitude would always be 1. That we already know, because the name itself already suggests. So unit means that its magnitude is 1, right? And these are all, so they are perpendicular to each other. So that is why they are also called orthogonal vectors. Right. So they are orthogonal vector. And what is the purpose of these unit vectors? Right. What is the purpose of this unit vector?
To give direction.
Yeah, so to give a direction, and this I hat represents the x direction, j hat represents the y direction, k hat represents the z direction. So if I'm writing a 3-dimensional vector, so I can write any vector in the form of these ijk, right? So I can represent any vector in the form of ijk. Right, so this is called the Cartesian form of a vector, right? And which the important thing are, because in a vector, there are 2 important things, right? One is the magnitude, and the other is the direction. Right, so what would be the direction and magnitude of this vector? So magnitude of this vector would be simply this thing, and the direction. Right, so direction, how can we get this direction? This is A and A hat. So we can always get this A hat if we know the vector itself and then its magnitude. So this would be A vector divided by A magnitude, which is AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. And then this is AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. Right. So this would be the direction, and this would be the magnitude. So whenever you have a Cartesian form of a vector, that is the simplest form of a vector, then you can always write, you can always find the magnitude and direction of that vector, right? So this was about the Cartesian form. And then if we have 2 vectors, right? Okay, so I will talk about that thing later. But using these things, how can we solve some questions? So these things you all guys already knew, right? So no need to note it down. So I will just ask some questions to, right, you guys to solve, right? Oh, so what are these things? Okay, so is this the one? Yeah. So let me use this thing and then we'll solve some question using those ideas, right? So first we'll do some simple questions and then we will be doing some, and then we'll be doing some complex questions, right? Some of the question you guys have already done, right? So you guys can practice those questions again, right? To memorize if you guys remember those things or not, right? Okay, so I guess, yeah, there are lots of questions, but we'll do only few questions because we have 2 days to complete this part. Right, so first, let us quickly do, right, a very simple question. So P plus Q is a unit vector along x-axis, right? P is this, then what is Q, right? So can you guys find out what would be this thing? What is the answer of this question? Please solve this one, right? Please solve this one and tell me what would be the answer. Yeah. So whatever we have learned so far, please use that thing, right? And find out what is the answer of this question. What is Q? Q vector. Do you guys want to note down this thing? Yeah, do you guys want to note down this thing?
No, sir.
Yes, because these things you guys have already done. Okay, so why is that question in here, right? So why this is moving here and there? Yeah, so somebody has already option E. So Shahid is saying option E, right? So Shahid has got option E. What about you guys? Yeah. Option B. So Chavez is getting option B. And Maria is getting option B. And you are, so Matia and Tarif, what about you guys? Madia, so okay, so there is a majority. There is a majority of this option, right? So majority vote is there for option B. So there are important thing, there are a few important. So unit vector along x-axis, right? So this is the crucial information in this question. Unit vector along x-axis. What is that?
Like
Also, Tarif is also getting A. So there is a 3-2 majority, right?
A madam is equal to it again.
Okay, no, let me just check those things, right? So unit vector along x-axis, that is I hat, right? Unit vector along x-axis, that is I hat, right? Let me write this thing as this one. Okay, now P plus Q. P plus Q is what? That is unit vector along x-axis, that is I hat, right? We already know this P vector. This is how much? That is I minus j plus k hat, and plus we don't know this Q vector. So this is I. So we have to just take these things in the right hand side, right? Okay, so I have another. Oh, so Tarif is saying B. Yeah, you can change your answer at any time, right? So this is I minus I plus J minus K, right? So this is J minus K. So yes, this would be the correct option, right? Yes, Shahid, is it clear? Yeah, is it clear? Okay, so the correct option would be this thing, and now, yeah, this is not important, so we'll be skipping the magnitude of eigenvector with endpoints and must be, will. Okay, so yeah, so this question, right? So 50-second question. This is a unit vector, null vector, vector of magnitude √2 scalar, right? So you have this, let's say, vector, which is 1 by root I plus 1 by root J. So what is this vector, right? You guys
Unit
please,
vector.
unit vector. So Chavez is saying unit vector, option A. Yeah, so Maria is also saying A, right? You guys directly unit vector. So Shahid is also saying unit vector, right? And then Maria also saying good. Now Tarif,
Yes.
yeah,
7.
you are solving. Okay, so okay, so let us see, right? How can we tell that this is a unit vector, right, or null vector? So if we have to, for all those things, right, because all these things are talking about magnitude. So we have to find out, or yeah, this cannot be true because these are ij, so this is already discarded, right? So we have to find the magnitude to tell about these things, right? So what is the magnitude of this vector? Let me write it in this way, right? So root of 1 by √2 square plus 1 by √2 square, right? So how much is this thing? 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So this is 1, right? Half plus half, √1, that is 1. So this would be a unit vector, right? So Tarif, this would be a unit vector, right? So all of you
Yes,
guys
sir.
are correct. Now, then the angle made by the vector A with x-axis. So to do this, we require the resolution of vectors, right? So okay, so let me just quickly talk about the resolution of vector, right? So what is the resolution of vector? So let's say that we have a rectangular coordinate, right? We have a rectangular coordinate. Rectangular means that we have only 2 dimensions. So we have this rectangular coordinates, let's say x and y, right? And there is this vector. So let's say this is A, right? And its length is represented by A and its direction is represented by A. So let's say this is the vector. So I can always decompose this vector in 2 parts, right? Resolve this vector in 2 parts. So if I know this magnitude, the magnitude of this vector, and the angle that it is making with x or y axis both, right? So let's say if I know the angle between the x-axis, let's say this is theta. So I can always resolve this vector in two components. One would be the x component and the other would be the y component. Right. So then this would be how much? So I can write a vector, right, which is a into a hat. I can write this as a cos theta I hat plus a sine theta j hat. So I can write any vector in the polar form. So this is called the polar form. Right, and this is very crucial. So if I want to calculate this angle, right, this is my AY and this is my AX. Right, so I can always write the angle tan theta, right, which would be AY by AX. So theta is tan inverse AY by AX. So this is how I calculate the angle, and this is how I write it in polar form. So this is very important. This is very handy in some of the questions, right? So keeping this in mind, I'll just try some questions. Yeah, now we can write this thing, right?
So I can just put the previous slide.
Oh, this one. Yeah, this one. So do you have any question in this one? Yes.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay, so now we can do the questions based on angles, right? So those parts we can do. The unit vector along I plus j. Oh, so this is, yeah, the unit vector along I plus j. So this is a very easy question, right? And yeah, so you guys please do this question. And I'm planning to do, because at least we can do the resultant of vectors, up to resultant of vectors, right? So those would be very. And then in the next class, we can talk about the cross and dot product. So Chavez is getting C option. Okay, Maria and Chavez, they are getting option C. Right. Yeah, so in this question, we have already talked about that you are given the vector. Now you want to calculate the unit vector. So this is the question. Yeah, so option Tarif is also getting, and Shahid is also getting C option. Yes. Now Madiha. Good. So everyone is getting. So you guys have done already. I already practiced some questions, right? So good. Okay, then yeah. So let us skip this one, and then this one is easy, right? So then let us do this 55th one, right? So the angle made by the vector with x-axis. Please do this question. What is the answer that you guys are getting? So this is obviously a vector I plus j, and what is the angle it is making with the x-axis? Yeah. So what is the angle? Oh, my B. Okay, so Madia and Maria, they are getting,
Surrounding.
yeah. So Madia, yeah, what did you say, Chavez?
Surroundings.
Yeah, please do this question. So if you guys submit, then this is AXI plus AYJ. So this is your int. Yeah. So Chavez is also getting. So what about you, Shahid and Tarif? What is AX? If you compare these things, AX is 1, AY is 1, right? And we already have seen that tan theta is AY by AX, right? So tan theta is 1, which means that theta is 45 degree. Clear? Is this clear, guys? Tarif and Shahid?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so these are quick question, right? So, and then we will complicate these things. So this question, I guess you guys have practiced earlier also. Yeah, so please do this problem also. And then 57th one is also the nice question. Because these vectors you will see in almost every chapter. So that is why they are very, very crucial, very important. Hmm. 56 option B. So Maria and Shahid. Yeah, so Maria and I will write it in here, right? So Yeah, so Madhya is also getting option B. So Shawez and Tarif, what about you guys? Yeah, so important thing is unit vector. So this is the important information. So Chavez is also getting and oh 57A. So Shahid has also already. Okay, so you guys are super fast. Yeah, so Tarif got this answer, then yeah, so you guys are solving. So some of the guys have started solving the 57th one also. Right, so Maria and Tarif, right? Shahid. So Maria and Shahid, they got A for this question. So please solve this 57th one. So Chavez is also getting option A. And Matia and Tarif. So Tarif. Good, yeah. So I'm not solving any question. You guys are doing all the questions, so that's quite good.
These are questions asked in JEE examination.
Yeah, so these are JEE easy level questions, right? Some of the question have been asked in JEE, but some of them are not, right? But they are the same easy level questions. Yes, Tarif, did you get the answer, right? We have to just add these vectors. Oh, who got disconnected? Tarif, did you get the answer? So in this question, we have to just add these. So what was the question? Along the direction of some of these vectors, right? So A plus B plus C, you first have to find out, which is what? Which is 4 minus 3. So that is I hat. And minus J plus 2J. So that is J. So J hat and then what? Minus K hat. So this is, let's say, some vector A. And then you have to find out the unit vector out of this one. So there are two options, this one and this one, right? This is not there. So what is the unit vector? So first we have to find the magnitude. That is what? 1 square, 1 square, 1 square. So that is root 3. And then you divide this root 3 to find out the unit vector, right? So vector divided by its magnitude. So this is the option, right? What everybody is getting. Clear, Tarif?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we have only 4 weeks, so that is why I'm rushing a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, yeah, we could have slowly done these problems, right? But we have to rush. We have only few days. Okay, so should we do this? The magnitude and direction of A plus B. Let us skip this question as well, right? Determine a vector. Oh, 58. So Chavez, you guys are you guys competing? So Chavez has done this 58th question as well. So don't do this 59, guys, but yeah, do this 58th one, right? Chavez has got option A, right? What did you get? Option A. Option B. Option B you got, right? So Maria also got option B. Don't do this problem, right? So you guys are okay. Yeah, this is looking good, but first do this problem. Because these were in the Cartesian form, right? So that is why addition and subtraction on all those things are easy, right? But we'll see that if these are not given in the Cartesian form, then what is the addition and subtraction? That you already know, but yeah, we'll do that part also. Yeah, so rest of you guys, please find out what is this thing. Option B, Tarif and Shahid. And Madina, good. Okay, so everybody got the answer. Good. So okay, so then I'm not required to do this problem. Then please solve the 61st one, guys. 61st question. Yeah, resultant meaning addition of vector, right? So Maria is getting option A. And Shave is also getting good. Yeah, Tarif and Shahid. What about you guys? So this is exactly the same question that we did. So the first question that we did, exactly the same question, right? Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Only difference is that this is what? Negative J. A plus B is negative J. So Tarif is also getting
Sir, it will be option A because it's in negative y direction, right? Otherwise, it would be option D.
Yes, negative.
Sir, it's in sir, option A because it's in negative y direction, right? Otherwise, it would be option D.
Option D.
Yes, I'm asking that.
Oh, if you are saying that if this is negative I.
No, sir, if it's like a positive, it would be option D, right?
Yeah, so if it is positive, then the negative of this thing, right? So 5, no.
Okay, sir.
So that would be negative of this thing, right? Yeah, so
Yes, sir.
yeah, we can check that, right? We can check that determine the vector when added to the resultant of A plus B. So there is a vector, let's say P. If it is added with A plus B, then it gives, right? You're saying that it gives J hat. In first place, this is giving minus J hat, but if it gives, right. Okay, so you are saying that if it is J hat, so what would be this thing, right? So P A is 2 plus 3, that is 5I, and then this is 5 minus 4, right? So that is J hat, and then this is minus K minus 2K, and then this is J hat. Okay, so then what would be this thing? Then if this would be minus 5I, and then your J and J will cancel, right? J will cancel, and this would be 2K. So only this one. If it is only J hat, if it is only Y direction, if it is minus J hat, so as everybody is getting right, minus J hat, so this is P plus 5I plus J minus 2K minus J, so this is minus 5I minus 2J minus 2, right? Plus 2K. So this would be, if it is J hat only, then this would be the answer. Right, Tariq? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, yeah, this one is very important. This is used in, yeah, this would be used in motion in 1D. This would be used in the potential, electric potential. So whenever you are calculating the displacement vector, right? So this is also used in work done, right? So whenever you are given the two coordinates, right? So you have to just, so displacement vector, which is, let's say, delta r, this is simply x2 minus x1 I hat, y2 minus y1 j hat, 1 z2 minus z1 k hat, right? So this thing we have to always keep in mind. So 62 options Chavez has done. Now, no need to do this problem. I'm just telling that how do you calculate so this thing you guys already know, right? So I plus 4 minus 3j plus 5 minus 5j. So this would be, yeah, so this is the displacement vector, right? Okay, what were you saying, Tarif? Chavez, option C is correct. So these were some of the questions from unit vector Cartesian form, right? And you guys are already familiar with this one. So let me, okay, so this would be used when you do the okay, so yeah, so okay, this is talking about the resultant of forces, right? And we don't need to use the resultant that we'll study later. But how can we do this problem without using those resultant, right? So yeah, in this question, you guys already know that they are perpendicular, so you guys can use the resultant of vector formula. but without using that one. So one is along the x-axis, x equals to 0. Oh, x equals to 0 is what axis? F1 along x equal to 0. Right. So which is x1, x equal to 0 is which line? Which line is x equals to 0?
Sir, why?
Y. So y axis, this is your x equal to 0. This is your y equal to 0. So x axis is y equal to 0 and y axis, that is your x equal to 0, right? So yes, Maria, y axis, yes, correct. So F1 is this one, right? So I can write that this is J hat, right? And F2 is how much? Oh, Maria is saying D option. Yeah. So then in x-axis, F2 is 2i. Yeah. So then F1 plus F2 is 2i plus J. Right. So that would be the resultant of forces. Right. Yeah. So this was this question. Okay. So now let us move on, because this part is related with motion in 1D, right? This is actually not a motion in 1D because we have several direction, right? I, J, K. So this is motion in 3D actually, right? But yeah, so okay, we can use we can do this problem, right? Yeah, we can do this problem and then we'll jump to the resolution of vectors. Okay. Yeah, this part, okay, I will use this thing, you guys, because you guys already know, right? So they have given the position vector, right? Position vector is given. And now we want to find out the distance traversed in first 10 seconds. Oh, so why this is, okay, this is not that important because what would be this distance in 10 seconds? So that would be R10, magnitude of R10. So that would be 310 square, right? Plus 4, 310 square. Okay, these both are square. And then this is 10 square and then J hat plus 7K. So this is 100, 300 I plus 400 J plus 7K. So then the distance travel in first 10 seconds. So we have to find out the magnitude of this thing, right? So magnitude of this thing is what? So that would be the distance travel in 10 seconds, right? So 300 square, okay, 400 square plus yeah, this is 7 square. So there would not be any zero, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Oh, so first we have to find out the displacement, right? So displacement would be, yeah. So first we have to find out that what is the position at 0th second, right? So this is the initial position because initial position is also important. So initial position is 7K. Yeah, this is important. So initial position is because t is equals to 0, so that is 7K. and then R10. How much is that? So this would be, as we have got just now, 300 I hat plus 400 J hat plus 7K. And then what is the displacement, right? So delta R. So that would be this part will cancel. So we have only 300 I plus 400 G. So then magnitude of that thing would be the distance. So this is 300 square plus 400 square, right? So what would be this thing? This would be 500 square. So this is 500 meters. Yeah, so this was very crucial because we have some initial position, right? This is not starting from the origin, right? This is starting from this part. So it has not the origin as this thing. Right, so this has the origin in here, so that is why we got this thing. Right, so yeah, we don't use directly the position vector. Whenever the origin is shifted, so we have to find first the original initial position and then final position, and then we find out the displacement. So is it clear, guys? Yes. Is this one clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so quickly note this one down and then we'll talk about the resultant of vector. So now I guess this is enough for a Cartesian form, right? And I will give you this question as your homework. So please try this question at your home, and then we'll talk about the resultant of vectors. Yeah, noted everyone. This part.
No, sir.
Okay, yeah, please note it down, and then we'll also note this question as your homework, right? Note this question as your homework. Okay, Maria is saying C, right angle. Yeah, so that I will discuss in the next class, right? So, but you guys only note down up to this point, and whenever you guys have noted, please tell me.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay, so now let us quickly talk about the resultant of vectors, right? So, okay, I will just quickly erase this part. Yeah, and then what did we, oh, this is scalar product. So where is the resultant? Okay, so let me. Yeah, so in the resultant of vectors, because we don't need any proof, right? So when the vectors are given in polar form, right, you have A vector, B vector, and the angle between them is given, right? So this is the polar form. And then you are asked to calculate the resultant of vectors. So let's say this is A, this is B, and the angle between them is theta. So to calculate the resultant A plus B, right? Let's say this is some R. So magnitude of R is A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. This is the magnitude and direction of this vector. So direction is B sine theta divided by A plus B cos theta. Right, so this is how you write. And let's say this is given by the parallelograms law, right? So you make a parallelogram and then you join the diagonal. So this is the result, right? And let's say this is alpha, right? So this is the alpha which is given by this thing. And yeah, so this is your B, this is your A, and this is your R. And let's say that if this is, because this is theta, so this is theta, this is 180 minus theta. So there is this is called the sine law, cosine law. And then you have this Lame's theorem, which is also called the sine law. So what does it say? It says that R by sine theta.
Sir, it's for equilibrium, right?
No, it is applicable for every, if you have this triangle, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, so this is, let's say A, and this
Sorry, I mean,
is
sir, quote terminal vectors, right?
terminal vectors which have some end, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so these are all terminal vectors, right? They are ending. Yeah, so co-terminal vectors, yeah, because we all always take the co-terminal vectors, right? Yeah, so these are co-initial or co-terminal vectors. Yeah, so what you are asking?
No,
This
so like
is,
Lam's theorem is for a particular point, right?
yeah, so particular point, or whenever you have three sides of the triangle, right? You have three sides of the triangle and three angles. So that is applicable for all these three, right? Whenever you are given, let's say two angles are given. Whenever you are given two angles, and then you want to calculate the other parts of the sides or other parts of the vectors, right? Then you have to use this Lamé theorem. So what does it say? So it says that A by sine alpha and then B by sine beta. So this is your R, and generally this is 180 minus theta, but sine 180 minus theta is same. And this is A, right? So opposite to A is this angle. Okay, so this should be in our case, if we are taking this thing A, so this should be beta. So let's say that, yeah, let's write this as beta. And then this is alpha. Right. So if we are taking this as A, so that would be good, right? Because conventionally we should write like this. So let's say this is A, right? Oh, then this would be different. Okay, so let us write this as this only. Right, because this is our B sine theta and this is B cos theta, right? So this formula would be different. Okay, so that is why let us write this as, so this is A sine beta and then this is B sine alpha. So this is your Lame's theorem, and this is also called Sine's law. Right, so let's say if you have a triangle and it has three sides. So let's say if you have a triangle, ABC, right, let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C. So opposite to C, okay, let us write this one as A. So opposite to A, side A, opposite to C, side C, opposite to B, side B. So opposite to A side, you have this angle A, right? Opposite to B side, you have this angle B. And opposite to this C side, you have angle C. So then science law says that A by sine A, and this is equal to B by sine B, and this is equal to C by sine C. So this is your Lame's theorem, and that is applicable also in here, right? So this is the resultant, and we can also apply. So this is parallelograms law, right? And we can also apply the triangles law, which is exactly the same. And this also gives the same result. So this says that we have to take the head of the one vector to the tail of the other vector. And then we join the other tail and the head of the vector. So this will give us the result. Right. And in this case also you get the same result. So magnitude and direction, they are also same in the triangles law as well. Right. So this is a triangles law. All these things here you guys have already studied. So I'm just recapping these things. So this is addition, and then you have subtraction of vectors as well.
Sir, can you scroll up?
Yeah. So let me zoom out this thing, right? Okay, so I was saying that in this thing, in resultant, you require two magnitudes and the angle, right? But in Lame's theorem, without knowing the two magnitudes, if you know the angle, right? If you know this angle, if you know this angle, and you know one magnitude, then you can calculate the other thing also, right? Is it clear? So when we have to use this Lame's theorem, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like if one
Whenever,
magnitude is given, you can find.
yeah, if only one magnitude you know and the other two angles you know, right? Then you can use this Lame's theorem. So that is why this is very useful, right? Okay, so noted, everyone. Yeah, this you guys have already done. So the main purpose is that we want to do questions, practice some question, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then subtraction of vectors, right? And we didn't prove anything, right? So because proof is not needed in here. So what is subtraction of vectors, right? So let's say we have this A vector, right? And we take the opposite vector, right? So this would be what? This is minus A vector. So we need this information in finding the subtraction of vectors. So let's say that we have this A vector, right? And this is B vector. So to find out the subtraction of vector, we extend this B vector in opposite direction. So that would be minus B vector. And then we apply the parallelograms law or addition of vectors. So this thing will give us the subtraction of vectors, right? And in this case, the resultant is what? In this case, the resultant is minus 2ab cos theta. Right? And what is the direction? So direction is simply b sine theta and a minus b cos theta. So theta is. So this is the subtraction of vectors. Right. And
So what is
then
alpha?
alpha. Okay, so this is your alpha. Right. How do we get this alpha? So this alpha is the angle between the resultant and this vector A. So how do we get this thing? So this is now because this is B, right? This is B, so this would be how much? This is your B sine theta, right? And this part is your B cos theta, right? So then this part from here to here, what is this? This is A minus B cos
A
theta.
minus B cos theta.
So from here you get B sine theta divided by A minus B. So that is how you get this thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, so what was and then we have this important thing which is called direction cosines. Right, so if you have any vector and these are the 3 dimension, right? So if you have this vector, right, it is making an alpha angle with x-axis, beta angle with y-axis, right, and then gamma angle with z-axis. So direction cosine is defined as, so you can write ax, right? Okay. So you can write ax component as, let's say magnitude of this thing is a. So a cos alpha. Similarly, you can write y as a cos beta, and you can write z as a cos gamma. Right. So then you can write cos alpha as ax by a. You can write cos beta as ay by a. You can write cos gamma as az by a. So these are called the direction cosines. Right. And they follow a peculiar property. Right. What is the property? So if you square cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma. What is this thing? Yeah, so this is 1. So this is the property that the direction cosine follows, right? And you can check from here. So if you square this thing, and if you square this thing, you add these things, so you'll get 1. So that is the property of direction cosines. Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so keeping these things in mind, let us do some questions, right? So, where are those questions? Okay, they got mixed up, right? Oh, this is happening because I have, yeah, date modified. So this is happening because this, right? So now, yeah. Okay, so then we can do these problems. Yeah, so you guys please solve this first question using the idea that we studied a moment ago. Oh, this is what is the angle between P and the resultant of that can be done. So 23rd question. It's a simple one, right? 23A. So Tarif is saying A. Yes. Madhya is also getting, so Maria is also getting A and Madhya is also getting A. Yes, Shahid and Shariz. What about you guys? Yes, what are you guys getting? You have to just add them up, right? P plus Q, P minus Q. It's option A. Okay, yeah. So Shahid is also saying it's option A, right? What happened, Shahid? P plus Q plus P minus Q. What would be that? That would be 2P. So angle between I and 2I. What is the angle between them? Right. Yes. So they both are in the same direction. P vector and 2P vector. Only the magnitude is differing. Right. This is 1P, this is 2P. So let's say if this is P vector, then 2P is this vector. So the angle is 0. Right. Is it clear, Chavez? Yes, it is. Is it clear? Yeah. So what was the timing of? Is it supposed to be 1.5 hours or 2 hours plus? So should we stop here? Let me ask the Learnivio. What is the timing of this class? Right. Okay. In the meanwhile, you guys try this 24th one. And this is related to resultant of vectors. So please try this 24th one. In the meanwhile, let me ask the Learnivio. How much is the duration of this class, right? So you guys please try the 24th one. And the hint of this question is that you have to use the property of the resultant of vectors. In the meanwhile, I will be. Yes, what happened, guys? Nobody gave me the solution.
Sir, which one, sir?
This one. Okay, let me explain this one, right? So, yeah, the duration of these classes would be 1 hour 40 minutes, right? So, and if needed, we can extend that because you guys are already exhausted with those chemistry and maths classes, right? So, okay, so let me just talk about this problem. So one Tarif is saying option B. So Tarif is saying option B. Let us check that. Right. So magnitude of A is 6, magnitude of B is 8. So the resultant, what would be the resultant? This can be A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta, right? So what would be the maximum value? Because this is fixed. This is 6 and 8 only. This is fixed. Only this theta can be different, right? So theta can, so cos theta value, the range of cos theta is what? That is -1 to 1. So minimum value of cos theta is -1. So this can be,
Cos 0.
no, minimum can be minus 180 degree, right? So at cos 180 degree, right, theta can be 180 degree also. Two vectors are opposite to each other, right? So you can have this vector and this vector. They are totally opposite and the angle between them is 180 degree. So cos 180 is how much? That is -1, right? So minimum value would be -1. So this is minimum and this is maximum, right? You have seen the graph of cos also. So cos 0 is 1 and this goes like this, right? So at 180 you have minimum, right? Okay, so Yeah, so where were we? Yeah, so this is a square. Let me write it as minimum. So a square plus b square minus 2ab. So this is a minus b whole square, and then root. So this is a minus b, right? So this is r minus 1. And let's take that this is 8 and this is 6. So this r minimum, that can be 2, right? So this is r minimum, and then you have r maximum, right? R maximum can be how much? Your theta is, or cos theta is -1 for minimum, and for maximum your cos theta is 1, right? So this is a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So this is a square b square, this is 1, so 2ab. So you have a plus b whole square root under. So this is a plus b. So R maximum can be how much? 6 plus 8. That is 14. So minimum can be 2, maximum can be 4. So resultant would be in between 2 and 14. Right? So what is the option that is satisfying that relation or that information? This is discarded, this
The
is
9.
discarded. So this one, right? Oh, so Tarif, this was correct. Yeah, is it clear,
Sir,
everyone?
can you explain once?
Yeah, so these are the two forces and they are vector quantity, right? So they will add using the vector addition, right? And in vector addition, this is the resultant, right? So depending upon this theta, this resultant will change. And we know that the minimum value that this cos theta, cos function is -1. So if we take the minimum value, so minimum resultant value that we can get, what would be that? So that would be this thing, which is 2. So
Okay, sir. Like the value which is between 2 to 14 is 9.
yeah, so the value between, yes, absolutely correct. So value between 2 to 14 is 9. So that is why, because yeah, 15 cannot be possible, 22 and 1. So 9. Yes, is it clear, everyone?
So clear.
Okay, you guys quickly note it down. And mm, yeah, so a particle by two forces, then the net force. So you can see that. Yeah, so who got disconnected? So I guess someone got disconnected. So we can, yeah, we can stop here. Yeah, whenever you guys have noted it down, please tell me. And then we'll stop here and then we'll continue from here in the next class tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we'll complete this thing up to the cross product. So
For minimum we're taking -1 and for maximum we're taking 1.
yeah, for minimum we have to take a minus b, mod of that. Right. So actually we are getting -2, but mod of -2 is 2. Right.
Yes, sir. So and we're taking the domain, right, not the range.
So x, okay, because I have forgotten the terminology, right? So let's say if you have a function, right, which is, right, if you have some y, which is some function of x. So if we are taking the range of this thing, that is called domain, right? And if
Yes,
we are
sir.
talking
So we're
about
taking
this thing,
domain of the cos, right, -1 to 1.
yeah, so we are taking, we're not talking about the theta. We are talking about the cos function,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So we are talking about y as cos x. So if we were taking this thing x, then that would be domain, but we are talking about this thing. So that would be range, right? Yeah, but because maybe I have forgotten the, because that is usually we do, right? Am I correct or wrong? Please correct me if
So
I'm
can you
wrong.
repeat?
Yeah, so the X part is called the domain and Y is the range, right, everyone? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you guys have just learned the maths, you guys have just taken the maths classes, right? So you guys can tell me that if it is domain and if it is range, right? Generally, Y is
Yes, sir.
range and X is domain, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chavez and Mari and Avi. So you guys can tell me if I'm correct, right? Madhya also. Okay, so we will stop here and
Yes.
everyone, yeah, noted everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then we'll stop here and see you guys tomorrow, right? And again, so take away that you guys should take from this class that this should be your aim, right? So only focus on this part in the exam.
So, sir, like if you are doing 10 questions, every subject will get
Absolutely. You will get some NITs or triple ITs. Yes.
okay, sir.
Yeah, because you guys have those DASA quota and yeah, NRI quota. So in that quota, you guys will be selected. Yes. Don't ever do such question in which you guys don't have some confidence. So leave that question, right? You have to restrict
So
yourself.
for each subject, it's best to do some 10 questions.
Yeah, 10 questions only, right? You guys have to be
Sir,
restricting
and
yourself.
yes, sir.
Yes.
And from MCQ and that section B, but how much questions you should do in total?
Yeah, so the total question is 30, right? 20 MCQ and
Sir.
10 integers. So
Yes, sir.
among
5 is compulsory, right?
5 is compulsory. So every 5 from
Yes, sir.
these there are 3. These 2.
Okay, sir.
No. So you can do, let's say, 5 questions from this one, 3 questions from this one. That is not
So in the section B part, 5 questions are compulsory.
section B. So section B,
Yes, sir,
only the physics one.
the answering part. No, sir, for physics, chemistry, maths, section B is compulsory. That's it. 5 questions compulsory.
Yeah, so section
Yeah,
B
sir.
is
Like he's saying the typing part.
integer type.
Yes, integer type 5 questions are compulsory.
Yeah, 5 questions. So you guys can do 3 questions from physics, 3 questions from chemistry, 3 questions from there also, right? So yeah, yes, 5 questions are compulsory. But you guys can do the combination of physics, chemistry, and math, right? Let's say
Yes, sir.
that you know chemistry very well, and then you can do 3 questions from there. Then you guys have to only do one question for maths and physics also, right? So yeah, that is totally dependent upon you. How do you divide? But the main goal is that from one subject, you have to at least 8 to 10 questions. And you have to restrict yourself, right? Don't get emotional and don't take on your pride that, yeah, you didn't miss this, you missed this question. You knew this question, but you couldn't do. So just forget everything and restrict yourself and do only 8 to 10 questions. So that will, yeah, you guys will surely get selected to some NITs or triple ITs, right? So that is the idea. Focus or set your target. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So do we have any practice paper for today's session? Okay, yeah, so that will be provided by the Learnivio team, right? If we have any practice paper, then I will send you, right? So the Learnivio team will, I guess there is a sample practice paper. So there would be a sample practice paper. Yeah, let me,